Hey y'all, Dr. Joey Kramer over at Hope Upper Cervical Spine Center. And this is our spine corner where we come in and we get to talk about upper cervical care and the areas surrounding the overall well-being of you, right? The opportunity for you to achieve health mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, right? All these areas that create this pillar that supports us as a human being. And today I wanted to dive into a very controversial topic as it relates to chiropractic offices. And this is something that has become more and more prevalent, I would say, the longer I'm in business. I don't know, it kind of has these circles, right? Like, after year 2, you get this, this question comes around. Year 5, that same question comes back in. Year 10, right? It's like this awakening that happens every few years with people, and they freak out for a little bit and then they calm back down, etc. And today that topic is going to be the use of an x-ray, right? So many of us are brainwashed to this idea that the ionizing radiation of an x-ray is going to utterly destroy us, right? We've been told that, whether it's a social media influencer or if it's something that's done for the naturopathic side of things, that, oh my God, like if you get an x-ray, you're gonna die. It's gonna cause cancer. You're gonna just blah, right? It's awful. And, I like to slowly chuckle about this because I start with people and I just ask them basic questions, right? I'm filming this on an iPhone. iPhone has 5G technology. Many of you don't know what that means, but I mean, you're getting more radiation from your cell phone than you are from an x-ray. If many of you have traveled in the last month and they make you walk through the machine, you're getting an x-ray taken of you. You go to your dentist, you get x-rays taken, right? If you fly in an airplane, you have like 30x the radiation of a normal x-ray being done, right? And so the hesitation that many people have is really, I believe, a misunderstanding or an abuse of what an x-ray is designed to be used for inside the chiropractic profession, and more importantly, inside the upper cervical assessment. You see, our goal here is to first quantify, do you have a neurological problem? Meaning, in our world, it's called dysautonomia. It means that is the regulation of the brain and the body connection interrupted? And if that is interrupted, where is it interrupted at, right? So you have to go through this system of asking questions about what is happening to the body to find out, is this actually an issue that we can help? And so many of you are used to this exploratory process on our Western brothers and sisters in the MD profession, right? You go and see them. They may listen to your chest. They may take a blood pressure, right? They're going to ask you some questions about how long this is going on, what you've tried, what's happened, right? They may make a recommendation for a pill that they may say, hey, if this doesn't clear up in the next 30 days, come back. We may change that. They may tell you that they need to take an x-ray in an MD office to rule out some chest condition or a fracture or a dislocation, right? These exploratory processes are designed to help the doctor make a best clinical decision possible to help you, the patient, have the best clinical objectives, outcomes happen. And so I'm floored by the number of people who would take their body to some place that does not take x-rays for a spinal adjustment, right? We're dealing with bones. And people are like, oh, it's just a bone, right? Well, inside the bone is a nerve, and inside the nerve is the spinal cord, right? These are all very sensitive, very strong, resilient structures that are responsible for maintaining your body in existence and communicating how it is effectively working, right? And so inside the upper cervical office, once we determine you are a candidate for the level of care, we have to find out what the problem actually is, right? You have to go through a diagnostic procedure. So we have to look at a thermal scan. And that thermal scan can't just be a one-off scan. It has to be repeatable over time, right? You have to have a constant, non-adaptive scan showing us that you need intervention in some way, shape, or form to create optimal function, right? Now, on the flip side of this, we have to talk about how we make that function happen, which is done via an x-ray. And I think two things are super important with x-rays, especially in the chiropractic side of life. Many of you have gone through that analysis process in the past if you have been with a chiropractor. They take films on day 1. On day 2, they bring you in, they sit you down, they go, Mrs. Jones, this is the most terrible x-ray I have ever seen in my life. Do you see this? You are dying. You need 1 million visits of care so we can get you back to being healthy, right? This is asinine, utterly insane. Forgive me. Whoa. It's utterly insane for a doctor to take someone in, put you in front of a computer screen, show you a lateral view of your neck. You know, you're sitting like this. You're like, Mrs. Jones, your curve is terrible. It's awful, right? They don't tell you what normal looks like, but they tell you you have an abnormal structure. We have problems, right? You need to know what normal is. You need to know what you're achieving. You need to know what you're going towards, what you're striving for, why things are the way they are because of a compensation of a structural anomaly that has caused a deficit in your overall presentation of health. So that person, option one, where they show you that lateral film, they never take another x-ray again, you just lay down and get cracked 3 ways till Sunday, 5 times a week, is the wrong way to deliver chiropractic care. In fact, it's not correct. It's unethical. It does not give you, the patient, confidence in the care. It does nothing for our validity as a profession. It is detrimental to us as a unit. Option number 2 is where I would tell you the winning champions come in. The reason why so many people have strayed towards the upper cervical practice, towards a full spine objective practitioner like a Gonstead doctor, is because of the constant updates on the progress of their care, right? You don't just get 1 set of x-rays at our office. Over a course of 6 months, you probably get 4 sets of x-rays. The goal is to show you that we are restoring normalcy in the ranges of normal by giving the correct adjustment at the right time, at the right place, to create optimal results for you, the patient. So many things are out there on the internet today, right? We have people calling in and they're like, oh my God, I have cranial cervical instability. My ligaments are so lax, I can feel my C1 translate 7 millimeters. You'd be dead, right? 3 millimeters is your tolerance. You need to know these things. Or they watch this video and they see it on TikTok of some guy wrap a towel around their head and it's wham, right? It's all problematic, right? You need to be empowered to understand what normal is and what abnormal is. You need to be empowered to understand that the doctor, if they're worth their weight, will do periodic x-ray reevaluations to ensure that the changes are happening in your structure that will lead to long-term benefits of your neurological performance. Is a reversal of your cervical curve a bad thing? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. Can you fix it? Yes. Is scoliosis a bad thing? Depends. Can you improve it? Depends. Is it something that will be there with me forever? It depends, right? These are all questions that we get on a daily basis. But if you never take an x-ray to understand where the misalignment is, and then adjust the misalignment and reanalyze that with another x-ray, how can you ever validate or ever confidently say you made a transformation in the underlying structure? You can't. So instead of being afraid of radiation, you should be empowered to understand that yes, there is ionizing radiation that happens. It's not nearly as bad as me sitting on this phone with 5G internet all over the place, but it's designed to help you understand that you are making forward progress. It's designed to show you and give you confidence that your body is actually healing. It's designed to show you that you don't need 1 million visits, that maybe you actually just need a couple, maybe a handful, maybe 6 months worth. That leads to longevity in your overall performance of health. You see, the understanding and the empowerment comes in knowing why we need to take the x-ray, and then also understanding and knowing why we need to update the x-ray periodically. If you can understand those 2 things, you will be more empowered when you go to your doctor in the future to say, hey doc, I've been a patient here for 5 months. How come you've never taken a new update on those x-rays, right? That's totally in your rights as a patient. You need to ask them. You need to find out, like, hey man, you showed me my curve was X. It should be Y. I've been here for 5 months. You've been adjusting me correctly, right? That's the goal. The goal is to help you, the patient, become empowered. The goal is to help you, the patient, to win. The goal is not for us to just blast you with radiation for the hell of it. It is a systematic procedure to create results that allows you to have care that is thorough and that is exact. I'll be back tomorrow with another Spinal Corner episode.